The air is thin up here, really thin. We're standing on the Bolivian Altiplano, a high-altitude plain that feels like the top of the world. A cold mist clings to the ground, wrapping everything in a gray, silent blanket. It's a landscape that feels ancient, untouched by time itself. And then you see it. Through the swirling fog, a shape emerges. It's a massive stone archway standing alone against the vast, empty sky. This is the Gate of the Sun, or the Puerta del Sol. It's not just a structure, it's a presence. You feel its weight, its history, its sheer impossibility the moment you lay eyes on it. It seems to watch you, a silent guardian of secrets we were never meant to understand. This incredible monument wasn't built last year, or even 1,000 years ago. It's a relic from a civilization that has long since vanished into the mists of history. Standing before it, you can't help but ask questions. Who carved this single, massive block of andesite? How did they move a 10-ton stone without wheels or modern machinery? And most importantly, what was it for? The gate leads nowhere. It simply stands there, a doorway to nothing, or perhaps a doorway to everything. Its surface is covered in intricate carvings that stare back at you, their meanings lost to the ages. It feels less like a piece of architecture and more like a warning. The silence here is profound. It's a heavy, listening kind of quiet that you only find in the world's most remote and mysterious places. The wind whispers past the stone, carrying tales of gods and giants, of a time when the world was new. You get the sense that you are not alone, even when there's no one else for miles. The gate itself seems to hum with a low, ancient energy, a vibration that you feel in your bones more than you hear with your ears. It's a place that makes the hair on your arms stand up. You are a visitor here, a temporary guest in a place that has seen empires rise and fall. As the sun begins to burn through the fog, the details on the gate become clearer. The precision of the carvings is breathtaking. Every line, every symbol is perfectly etched into the hard volcanic rock. This isn't the work of a primitive culture. It's the masterpiece of a highly advanced society. But who were they? The people of Tiwanaku left behind no written language, only these enigmatic stone clues. The Gate of the Sun is their greatest puzzle. It's a challenge thrown down through the centuries, daring us to uncover a truth that might be bigger and stranger than we could ever imagine. This isn't just a trip to an old ruin. It's a journey to the edge of what we know. The Gate of the Sun doesn't stand in complete isolation. It's the crown jewel of a much larger and even more mysterious complex, the ancient city of Tiwanaku. When we think of great South American civilizations, the Incas usually come to mind. But Tiwanaku is older, much older. This sprawling city of temples, pyramids, and plazas was a major power for over 1,000 years, long before the first Inca emperor was even born. At its peak, it was the capital of a vast empire that stretched across the Andes. Yet we know so little about the people who built it. They are a ghost civilization, a phantom empire whose story has almost completely faded away. Archaeologists believe Tiwanaku was inhabited as early as 1500 BC, but its golden age was between 500 and 900 AD. Then, around 1000 AD, something happened. The city was abandoned. We don't know why. Was it a catastrophic drought? A war? A social collapse? The theories are many, but the answers are few. The people of Tiwanaku simply vanished, leaving behind their magnificent stone city as their only testament. When the Incas arrived centuries later, they found these ruins and were so impressed that they incorporated Tiwanaku into their own mythology, believing it was the place where the world was created by their god, Viracocha. The scale of Tiwanaku is staggering. We're talking about massive structures like the Acapana Pyramid, a terraced man-made mountain that was once covered in metal plates and precious stones. There's the colossal, a huge open-air temple where the Gate of the Sun now stands. This enclosure is aligned with the stars with incredible precision, and all of it was built at an altitude of 12,500 feet, where the air is thin and resources are scarce. How did they manage such monumental construction in such a harsh environment? They engineered a sophisticated system of raised field agriculture that allowed them to feed a large population, a feat that modern engineers still study today. But for all of its grandeur, the city holds a deep sense of mystery. As you walk among the ruins, you see faces carved into the walls of the semi-subterranean temple, faces of different races, some with features that don't seem to belong to any known group from the Americas. Who were these people? Did Tiwanaku host visitors from around the world thousands of years ago? The city doesn't give up its secrets easily. It feels like a place out of time, a puzzle box where every piece you find only reveals a deeper, more complicated mystery. The story of Tiwanaku isn't just history, it's a profound enigma about our own past. Let's take a closer look at the gate itself. This thing is a marvel of ancient engineering. It's carved from a single solid block of gray andesite rock. It stands about 10 feet tall and 13 feet wide, and it weighs an estimated 10 tons. Think about that for a moment. A single piece of stone, quarried, transported, and carved with unimaginable precision. The nearest andesite quarry is miles away. How did they move it? We simply don't have a good answer. The stone itself is incredibly hard, yet the carvings that cover its surface are as fine and detailed as if they were etched in clay. It's a level of craftsmanship that seems to defy the tools they supposedly had. The most captivating feature is the array of figures carved across the top lintel. There are 48 mysterious figures, some with bird heads, all seeming to run or kneel towards the center. And at the very heart of the gate is the main icon, a figure that has fascinated researchers for generations. They call him the Weeping God. This central deity holds a staff in each hand, possibly representing thunder and lightning. Rays shoot from his head, like the sun, but it's his face that captures your attention. Tears are carved, streaming down from his eyes. Why is this god crying? Are they tears of sorrow, or perhaps drops of life-giving rain? Some scholars identify this figure as Viracocha, the creator god of the Andes. According to legend, Viracocha rose from the waters of Lake Titicaca, which is nearby, and created the sun, the moon, the stars, and the first humans. He was a civilizing god, one who taught humanity the arts of agriculture and architecture. But he was also a god who could be fierce and destructive. The staffs he holds suggest immense power. The figure on the gate is both a creator and a powerful force of nature, a being of immense complexity. His tears could symbolize his connection to water, the source of all life in the arid highlands. But the weeping god is not just a carving, it's a message. The entire layout of the icons on the gate seems to have a hidden meaning. It's not just random decoration. The figures are arranged in neat rows with a mathematical precision that suggests a code or a calendar. Each symbol seems to have its place in a larger system. Looking at it, you feel like you're reading a page from a sacred book written in a language no one can speak anymore. The Gate of the Sun is not just an object of art. It is a repository of knowledge, a stone library whose contents remain tantalizingly out of reach. Every mysterious place has its stories, and Tiwanaku is no exception. The local Aymara people, who have lived in this region for centuries, have passed down legends that are as old as the stones themselves. One of the most persistent tales says that Tiwanaku was not built by ordinary men at all. It was constructed in a single night by a race of giants. These giants were able to move the massive stones as if they were pebbles, using a strange power that came from the sky. The stories claim the city was a dwelling place for the gods who came down from the heavens. When the gods left, the city fell into ruin, a silent reminder of their brief time on Earth. These legends often center on the Gate of the Sun. They say it wasn't always a gate to nowhere. In ancient times, it was a functioning portal. The creator god Viracocha used it to travel between worlds. He would step through the archway and disappear, only to reappear in a distant land or even in the sky among the stars. Some stories claim that the first humans were brought to Earth through this very gate. It was the entry point for life itself. the place where the spiritual world and the physical world met. The weeping god in this context is the gatekeeper, the guardian of this powerful cosmic doorway. One chilling tale I heard from a local guide tells of the gate's creation. He said that it wasn't carved from stone, but that the stone was softened using the juices of a mysterious plant, combined with a sound frequency that could turn rock into a clay-like substance. The master builders then molded the gate and its intricate carvings by hand. Once the sound stopped, the stone hardened instantly, locking the images in place forever. This explains the lack of tool marks and the seamless nature of the carvings. Of course, there's no proof of such technology, but in a place like this, you start to wonder if our modern science has all the answers. These stories, whether you believe them or not, add to the profound sense of awe that surrounds Tiwanaku. They speak of a different kind of knowledge, a wisdom that isn't found in textbooks. They suggest a reality where the lines between myth and history are blurred. The legends of giants and portals might sound like fantasy, but when you stand in the shadow of these impossible structures, you have to consider that perhaps they are echoes of a forgotten truth. The people who lived here saw the world differently, and their stories are the only surviving maps to that lost perspective. So, what is the Gate of the Sun, really? The academic world and the world of fringe theory have been battling over that question for decades. The most widely accepted scientific theory is that the gate is a sophisticated solar calendar. Researchers have pointed out that the carvings and their positions seem to correspond to a solar year of 290 days, divided into 12 months of 24 days each. The weeping god at the center represents the sun, and the figures running towards him mark solstices, equinoxes, and other important astronomical events. It was a stone clock, a way for an advanced agricultural society to track the seasons with perfect accuracy. But that explanation, as neat as it is, doesn't satisfy everyone. The calendar theory doesn't explain the incredible effort required to build it from a single 10-ton stone. It also doesn't account for the many legends that describe the gate as a portal. This is where things get really interesting. The Stargate theory suggests the gate is a remnant of an incredibly advanced technology. Proponents believe it could be a device for transportation, capable of creating a wormhole or a dimensional rift. They point to the strange bird-headed figures as possible depictions of beings in helmets, or travelers from another world. Then there are the stories of strange disappearances. Local lore is full of tales about people who wandered too close to the gate at the wrong time, especially during powerful celestial alignments, and were never seen again. One story tells of a Spanish conquistador in the 16th century who vanished without a trace after mocking the gate's power. A more recent account from the 1980s involves an archaeologist who was studying the gate's energy fields. He supposedly disappeared from his campsite overnight, leaving behind all his equipment and notes, which describe strange energy fluctuations coming from the stone. These stories are hard to verify, but they feed the idea that the gate is more than just stone. It might be an inactive device, a machine whose power source has been lost. Perhaps the weeping god isn't just a symbol of the sun. Maybe it's a diagram of an energy being, or the controller of the gate itself. Is it a calendar, a portal, a historical record, or is it all of these things at once? The Gate of the Sun refuses to be put in a single box. It remains an object of intense speculation, a blank slate onto which we project our greatest hopes and fears about the unknown. The mystery of Tiwanaku deepens when you talk to people who have spent a lot of time there. It's not just about the visible ruins. It's about an unseen energy that many visitors report feeling. People often speak of experiencing strange sensations, dizziness, a sense of being watched, or a sudden feeling of peace or dread. Some have claimed to hear faint humming sounds coming from the stones, particularly from the Gate of the Sun. This isn't just New Age talk. Even skeptical researchers have noted the odd acoustics and magnetic anomalies in the area. It's as if the entire city is built on a spot with unique geological or energetic properties. One of the most compelling stories I've come across is from a geologist named Sophia. She visited Tiwanaku in 2023 during a rare solar alignment. She wasn't there for any mystical purpose, just to study the rock formations. As the sun reached its zenith, she was standing near the gate of the sun. Suddenly, she said, a low, resonant hum started, seemingly coming from the gate itself. It grew louder, and she felt a powerful vibration through the soles of her feet. She became intensely dizzy and nauseous, and the air around her felt thick, like it was charged with electricity. The feeling was so overwhelming that she had to stumble away from the gate. The moment she was 30 feet away, the sensation stopped completely. This isn't an isolated incident. During a major solar event in 2012, a group of tourists reported a similar phenomenon. They claimed the gate emitted a deep, sonorous tone that lasted for several minutes. Could these ancient structures be designed to interact with celestial energy? Perhaps they are not just passive calendars, but active instruments, designed to harness or channel energy from the sun or the earth itself. The stonework at Tiwanaku, with its incredible precision, is often compared to other mysterious sites like Pumapunku next door, or even Sacsayhuaman in Peru. All share this same impossible level of masonry, a style that seems designed for more than just aesthetics. As we leave Tiwanaku and the Gate of the Sun behind, we are left with more questions than answers. The gate remains a silent sentinel, guarding its secrets with an unyielding patience. What is its true purpose? Was it a calendar, a portal, a power plant, or something our modern minds can't even begin to comprehend? Maybe we're not meant to know. Some mysteries might be there to remind us of the limits of our understanding. So if you ever find yourself on the high plains of Bolivia, standing before this enigmatic doorway, be respectful. Be careful. You are in the presence of something ancient and powerful, and not all gates are meant to be opened.